What up, everyone? This is Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw, yeah, and we're doing the Age of Apocalypse. Outlaws cut number 3, Tales from the Age of Apocalypse. This tells the backstory of a reality where Charles Xavier had died in the arms of his friend Magneto, and he decided to carry on his legacy, but Apocalypse has taken over the United States, and Magneto is currently in South America right now trying to save a man named Robert Kelly, who has spoken out against Magneto and his followers and now is imprisoned in South America. And 2 humans have attacked El Diablo and the Absorbing Man, who has joined Apocalypse, for they are strong and they have the will to survive. Diablo moves Kelly away as the Absorbing Man smashes into Magneto, turning himself into stone, not metal, so Magneto can't manipulate his body, knocking the helmet off of Magneto. He thinks quickly, using his magnetic powers, turning his helmet into a metal club. He takes a swipe at the Absorbing Man, but the Absorbing Man still stands ready to kill, ready to fight, as Diablo prepares to kill Senator Kelly, to murder him in cold blood, to serve his master Apocalypse. From out of nowhere, an elf appears, but no ordinary elf, Nightcrawler. As he takes a swing at Diablo, his magic fades, releasing Kelly into the arms of Nightcrawler. And as the Absorbing Man's about to bring his fist down on Magneto, his powers are gone, null and void, taken by Rogue, who absorbs his powers, as well as some of his memories, and throws him far away. As they rescue Kelly, they make preparations to take him to the Resistance, as Nightcrawler drops some information on him, saying they know where to find Apocalypse, for Apocalypse is wounded at this point. As Scott Summers watches a mutant be tortured, for this is his place, to be energy, to be used. Scott Summers starts to wonder his place in this world, as Death talks to him. Death says that he is in charge now, while Apocalypse is rejuvenating himself, and that he will be the new ruler if anything should happen to Apocalypse. Cyclops begins to suspect Death's motives. He begins to suspect that Death is planning to take Apocalypse's place. Meanwhile, in the site where the Gunther family had died, a man named Cannonball died trying to save his family from being killed off by Apocalypse. Deep, there are tunnels. A resistance is formed there. And a rabbit is bouncing around saying how late he is. And he's looking for someone. He's looking for Victor Creed Sabretooth, who right now is trying to talk to his friend Blink, someone he loves like a daughter that he rescued, trying to explain that they need her help, but she is traumatized from all the things that she's seen. But still, Creed tries to reach out to her. His morph pops out of nowhere, thinking that Creed's bombing this one, trying to liven up the situation. Tries to drag Creed off in a humorous way, but Creed grabs onto him, tells him to shut up. He's making the situation worse, as Blink covers herself more, scared, nervous, apprehensive. As Creed leaves, Morph and Blink there, frustrated, wondering how he's going to explain to her as he walks into the war room, where Magneto and the other X-Men are planning their attack against Apocalypse, saying that he's on a ship recovering, and this ship is on the moon, the blue patch of the moon where you could breathe. And in this ship, Scott Summers waits for a meeting with Death, as Death lays out his plan, saying that he will be the new ruler, and that Apocalypse will be the past, as he threatens to expose Scott Summers to the turgid mist, the mist that changed him, that changed his family that he killed and remutated. As Blink sits there, writing to herself, Creed appears out of nowhere and sits down. Sullen, almost quiet, Blink asks him what's wrong. And he explains that yes, they're in a bad way, and yes, they've taken some bad hits, but they're still fighting. They're still doing everything they can to stop Apocalypse. And Blink says, but she's not. She can do more. And Creed reaches out to her. And she realizes that she can help. And she also realizes that it's Morph. Because Creed would never refer to Morph as the wonderful Morph. Morph pops back into his form, asking if he'll still help. And of course, Blink, finding her own power inside of her, blinks, and they teleport. Magneto is having a moment, wondering, feeling weak. As Rogue says weak, why? He grows weary of the war, the fighting. And do they ever make a difference? Do they ever do anything except send his own men off to die? Send his own friends, his people, humans. Will the fighting ever end? And Rogue reminds him that they are going to get married, have a child. And they will not live under the shadow of Apocalypse as Morph appears out of nowhere going, ah, love. And so does Blink. Blink is ready for action. And they're ready to go to the moon. To try to stop Apocalypse once and for all. As Summers is wondering if he's on the right side. If something should be done about Death. For he plans to take over Apocalypse. And he must decide his loyalty to Apocalypse or Death. As the X-Men appear, using Blink's powers, falling into the unknown, this ship, ready to stop Apocalypse once and for all. As they look around, Sabretooth ready for a fight, as are the other X-Men. Blink falls to the ground, but Morph uses his powers to capture her with a baseball glove and then pats her on the head real cartoon-like. And Creed grabs him and throws him like a bunch of silly putty. Blink wonders if she's done a good job. If she's disappointed Mr. Creed. Creed tells her to look out. For the forces of Death are here, ready to fight. And these were his former family, which he had killed and then exposed to the mist again. For he was mad. He was Maximus, and now he is Death. His Morph appears right next to him and gives him a big smooch. He uses his powers to knock him back. Morph is fine, but a little knocked out as they call for Death, as they call to kill them all. Death comes towards him. Elf, using his powers, the Nightcrawler hits him and hits him and hits him until he is wrapped up by one of the servants of Death. Sabretooth tries to intervene to save his friend, wrapping himself up as well, knowing that Nightcrawler is temporarily out of the fight. The X-Men are doing what they can as Rogue knocks an opponent out and then is shocked by another one. This is the numbers game at work, and they're using it to their advantage. As one member of the X-Men gets knocked out one by one, this girl's electricity powers are cancelled out by the Master of Magnetism. But that momentary distraction is enough. That weakness that Magneto has for his family is used by the servants of Death as they take them out one by one, except for Blink. Blink disappears and reappears, wondering what it is that she's going to do. Then she's caught by Cyclops. He reveals that they've taken Apocalypse away already, and that Blink just wants to save her family. And Cyclops wants to put an end to Death, as he has the X-Men captured, saying he's going to expose them to the Turgid Mist, change them and make them his servants so they can attack Apocalypse and he can become the new ruler. As Cyclops appears out of nowhere with Blink and frees Sunfire from his prison. And he's pure atomic energy as Death panics. As the other X-Men are free, Blink uses her powers to teleport Cyclops one place, while she teleports the X-Men somewhere else, as Sunfire takes his revenge upon Death and sets the place ablaze, destroying everything, frying Death and all of his servants as they appear, dealing a blow to Apocalypse, but still Apocalypse lives and the war goes on, and so must the X-Men. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.